Y'all. Welcome to the U Church of the Brazos Valley. My name is Reverend Kaya Hartwig. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm so happy to see y'all today. We're going to start out with singing a chant, and it's When You Know. A lot of you will know, and the words are really simple. Sing with my voice, pray with my hands, let the way be open. It goes like this. Sing with my We are a welcoming congregation, which means we celebrate and welcome all people of diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. We also strive to welcome people across diversity of race, age, ability, and immigration status and belief. In other words, you can be an atheist, you could be a Buddhist, you could be a Unitarian Universalist. We're happy to see you. We are also a congregation working for reproductive justice. So whoever you are, wherever you have come from, wherever you are in life's journey, you are welcome here. Our announcements today. Back in the welcome table, Jerry has set up a Texasism survey. They would like to know what you think should be the priorities for the next couple of years. And it's really simple, and Jerry can help you. But it's right outside the door. Please fill it out. Elsewise, Aaron Walter will harass. Okay, and we're having a special service today for AL, which stands for Our Whole Lives. One of the cool things about UCC and Unitarian Universalism is that we teach AL, both denominations. And our comprehensive sexuality education curriculum that they co-developed to provide communities with resources to cultivate a lifelong and healthy relationship with one's sexuality for our whole lives. So they do it age specific, and they're going to talk to you about it today. So you're going to know everything there is to know about AL. We are having a training to start this program in the Brazos Valley in January. There's a sign-up sheet for the registration information on the welcome table. Help us bring this life-saving program to our community. Plus, all the kids who take it are the coolest kids in their school because they can answer everybody's questions. Also, Katy has owl candles back there, and there's some chocolate hanging. Come on in. Anyway, there we go. And now it's time for our chalice lighting and our call to worship. And I think I need Rowan to help me light the chalice.
So for those of you who are not UU, while Rowan is lighting our chalice, we light a chalice to symbolize the time that we're together and the fire that burns in our hearts together.
Great. Pull it out away from the.
I've done that. It was brown at the time.
One try to you can hit it. And then turn away from it. Pull it out.
All right, our call to worship today is called There Is Something I Don't Know, and it's by R.D. Lang, and it's from their poetry collection called Knots. There is something I don't know that I'm supposed to know. I don't know what it is I don't know, and yet I'm supposed to know. And I feel I look stupid if I seem both not to know and not to know what it is I don't know. Therefore, I pretend that I know it. This is nerve-wracking. Since I don't know what I must pretend to know. Therefore, I pretend I know everything. I feel you know what I'm supposed to know, but you can't tell me what it is because you don't know what I don't know what it is. You may know what I don't know, but not that I don't know it. And I can't tell you. So you will have to tell me everything.
In Unitarian Universalism, we believe there's a spark of the divine in every being, including all you beings. And this is your opportunity to say hello to your neighbors, especially to the people that you haven't met before. This is your big chance. And I will let you know when it's over by singing your song. Have at it.
I don't have a name tag. I know you.
I'm Stephanie. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Sound okay? Oh, okay. That may be the A minor thing. Okay, cool.
It's a sound
Enjoy your song. What? Enjoy your song before the thing. Oh, good.
Some of those are one direction and stuff, you know, and some of them not going into the
I know this road. I know my fears will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will grow brown. I'm not the boss of many things. I'm just little and still learning, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm not the boss of anyone else. I gotta let them be themselves, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. I am brothers and sisters. I'm not the boss of the babysitter, but I am the boss of one thing. Here's the chorus, y'all. I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. I am the boss. I can make these feet run fast. I can make these legs kick high. I can make these hands hook nice. I can open my arms out wide. I'm not the boss of the supermarket. I'm not the boss of the toy basket. I am the boss of one thing. I'm not the boss for whatever for dinner, but if I help, I can make it quicker. I am the boss of one thing. Here you go, ready? I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. I am the boss. I'm not the boss of driving the car. I'm not the boss of mom's guitar, but I am the boss of one thing. I'm not the boss of my bedtime. I'm not the boss when the light goes down, but I am the boss of one thing. You got it? Here we go. I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. I can make these feet run fast. I can make these legs kick high. I can make these hands held high. I can open my arms out wide. 'Cause I'm the boss of my own body. I'm the boss of my own body. I am the boss.
So each week I read a story that is for ages 0, well, less than 0, all the way up to the oldest person we have here, and it's called The Time for All Ages. And this week we have a story that's called The Great Big Hug, and it's written by Issy Abraham Ravison and illustrated by Todd Hall. And I have the book here, but there should be, slides up there too. Elephant and meerkat are very good friends. They love each other. They make each other laugh. Meerkat always comforts Elephant when it's time to get a great big shot. Elephant never makes fun of Meerkat for snoring great big snores at sleepovers. And every morning, Elephant gives Meerkat a great big hug, and Meerkat smiles a great big smile. But one day, Elephant gave Meerkat a great big hug, and Meerkat did not smile a great big smile. Meerkat let out a great big ouch. Elephant and Meerkat felt confused. Elephant gave Meerkat another great big hug, and once again, Meerkat let out a big, great ouch. Now they felt upset. Then Elephant noticed the great big reflection in the watering hole. I am bigger than I was yesterday. I'm so big that my hugs hurt Meerkat. Maybe I have become too big to have a friend so small. Feeling very sad, Elephant ran away to look for a bigger friend to play with. Soon Elephant saw Sloth. Sloth, let's wrestle, Elephant shouted and tackled Sloth. Stop! Sloth shouted back, slow down, Elephant. I do not want to wrestle. Once again, Elephant felt confused. Stop being boring. I'm just trying to have fun with you. We wrestled last week, so I know you like wrestling, Elephant pointed out. I am busy going for a great big run, Sloth responded. But you went running yesterday, Elephant challenged. And I refused to give up halfway through, Sloth insisted. That is impossible, thought Elephant. Nobody runs that slow. Sloth does not want to play with me. Sloth must be afraid of getting squished if we wrestle. And Elephant ran off to find an even bigger friend to play with. Soon Elephant saw Ostrich. Peacefully bird watching. Ostrich is definitely big enough to play with me without getting hurt, Elephant thought. Ostrich, guess what? It's tickle time! Elephant called, running over to Ostrich. Elephant started tickling, but Ostrich did not start laughing. Instead, Ostrich hopped away and hid in the sand. Oh no! Even a great big animal like Ostrich does not want to play with me. Maybe no one will ever want to play with me again, Elephant thought. This is a great big mess, Elephant said. I will float myself out to sea on a great big iceberg and live alone forever. And that's what Elephant did. Elephant lay on an iceberg in the middle of the ocean, feeling heavy-hearted. My heart is so heavy, none of my friends like me anymore. I guess elephants are just too big to have friends. I will live the rest of my life alone on this great big iceberg. Elephant wailed, a great big wail. Who called my name? Asked a great big whale. It was a new friend, Blue Whale. Shh, Blue Whale called. I'm playing hide and seek with Seagull. Hooray, thought Elephant. I have found someone bigger than me. There is no way I can hurt Blue Whale. Now I can have a friend. Elephant reached out to give Blue Whale a great big hug. Stop! Bellowed Blue Whale. Elephant was distraught. Nobody likes me. I am too big even for Blue Whale, the biggest of all the animals. That is not true, Blue Whale replied. I'm just not a hug person. How about a high five? Elephant thought about what Blue Whale said. I like hugs and wrestling, but Blue Whale likes high fives and hide and seek. I wonder what Ostrich likes, or Sloth. Maybe it's okay for all of us to like different things. Maybe they still like me, even if they do not always like to play how I play. Maybe I am not too big to have friends after all. Blue Whale gave Elephant a ride back to the shore. Elephant said thank you and set off to find Ostrich and make things right. Ostrich, you clearly did not enjoy my tickles. I am sorry that I did not notice sooner. Is there something else that you would like to do? Elephant asked hopefully. Ostrich smiled and drew a great big tic-tac-toe board. After many games of tic-tac-toe, Elephant said goodbye to Ostrich and set off to find Sloth and make things right. Sloth, Elephant said, I just realized that just because you wanted to wrestle with me last week does not mean that you want to wrestle with me today. Can I join you on your run? I finished my great big run, 2 miles in 2 days, Sloth exclaimed. Wow, that's a personal best, said Elephant. Thank you. And now I'm ready to wrestle, Sloth said. Elephant grinned and tackled Sloth. After wrestling for a long time, Elephant set off to find Meerkat and make things right. Elephant found Meerkat sitting all alone. Meerkat jumped up. Elephant, I'm so happy to see you. I was so worried when you ran off and did not come back. I am sorry I worried you, Meerkat, Elephant said. And I am sorry I hurt you when I hugged you. I thought I was too big to be your friend. I love your hugs, and I love you, Meerkat replied. Can we just try a gentler hug? I did not think of that, said Elephant. And then Elephant gave Meerkat a great, big, gentle hug, and Meerkat smiled a great, big smile. And now all of our younger UUs are going to go to religious education. And I'm staying in service today, so Ashley, will you lift your hand up really quick? So everybody going will follow Ashley out to religious education. And would you all please join me in singing this little letter mark?
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I'm back. But in this section, I'm doing a grown-up thing. I'm usually not in service right now, so I feel very official. So we are going to have a meditation to help us prepare for our speakers. So can everybody take 3 deep breaths with me? All right, please relax into a comfortable position for a spoken meditation that comes from our whole lives for older adults. Yes, there is an our whole lives for everyone in this room. So our meditation has responsive words. The words are, my body is a container for love and pleasure. I am a container for wonder and joy. So if you feel comfortable and you want to, you can say those words when I say them. So let's start out with that responsive phrase. My body is a container for love and pleasure. I am a container for wonder and joy. I accept that my body is different today than it was 1, 10, 30, 40, or more years ago. My body is a container for love and pleasure. I am a container for wonder and joy. I accept that my mind may process ideas differently than it used to. My body is a container for love and pleasure. I am a container for wonder and joy. I accept that, like the flickering light of a candle, my sexual desire and abilities are changeable and beautiful. My body is a container for love and pleasure. I am a container for joy. All right, let's take one more breath together. And I'd like to invite up our first speaker, Katy Stewart of the Pride Center.
So I have to be honest, I might have to come back to find out more about elephant. I mean, it sounds like the ongoing saga is just, titillating. So I have to start out by saying, She-Hulk say, responsibility, good. But on a more serious note. In their 2009 article, Hansei, Japanese preschoolers learn introspection when teachers help. The author, Satomi Izumi Taylor, encourages leaders and educators in the U.S. to consider teaching reflective learning to their children through the use of questions that encourage youth to think about their current actions and their impact. Hansei goes beyond developing children's rethinking skills and includes the opportunity not only to bond with classmates, but to also consider others' feelings and what it means to be considerate, responsible classmates. Yeah, sure. Sorry. That better? The other one? That better? Okay. Now we're cooking. So the following incident from this article is very helpful. And this was a personal account of what happened in the article. Shortly after a rice crop had been planted, a panic-stricken 5-year-old comes running to their teachers, shouting, "Our rice plants are covered with bugs! We have to rescue our rice!" The startled children and teachers rush to the field and begin the painstaking chore of collecting the bugs and placing them in jars. The next morning, the teachers and class members go online. They find out that the bugs are actually good for the rice plants because they feast on harmful bugs. Now it is necessary to undo their mistake. So everyone rushes back into the fields with their jars of bugs and gently returns the bugs to the rice plants. The words of one child sum up the relief felt by the caretakers of the rice field. It's good we can kept the bugs in good shape so they can get back to work. One teacher tells the children, "I'm reflecting on my mistake, and next time I should think about our activity and do some research before making a hasty decision, shouldn't I?" So in this sharing, the teacher leads from a reflective humility that she shares transparency with the children she's in charge of. She models the hindsight process by considering what was done and what she could have done better. In this way, she teaches the class responsibility in all that she does. Embedded in the 7 principles are the inherent worth and dignity of every person and a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Our current political climate does not honor those principles. That does not exempt us in community with one another from reflective consideration of ways to uphold those values. At the heart of our whole lives curriculum lies a holistic understanding of the self that encompasses our sensuality, intimacy, sexual identity, sexual health and reproduction, and sexualization, all united by our values and understanding ourselves. By understanding ourselves as unified wholes, we are free to give space to others. In this way, we are able to appreciate others through understanding ourselves. I've thought about my own involvement in creating space for sexuality for quite some time. One might say that it dovetails nicely into advocacy I pursue regarding identity. Fundamentally, I've begun to see that our conceptualization of sexuality is bound with our inhibitions around talking about it frankly, about being honest, our honest selves in discussion both at the public level and at the interpersonal level. If something as simple as the naming of our body parts properly is controversial, what does that say about our ability to discuss our realities concerning those body parts and deeper elements of ourselves? We don't have a Planned Parenthood in Bryan College Station anymore. We've not had one for years. While I'm not interested and not going to take space on a pro-life, pro-choice debate here, the fact remains that Planned Parenthood provided health in multiple dimensions to our community and often still leads the way in dialogue about those body parts and our deeper selves. Like I said, this past year, politically, we have seen some cruel legislative agendas that are determined to exclude members of our community from bans on performative gender communication, on basic health care for our youth that is empowering to them as individuals and their families, to inroads we have made in literature such as declaring, "I am a red crayon," or "I have 2 mommies," to defunding schools where information may have been slightly less prone to a particular line of restricted thought. And this has been done for the good of our youth. It is time I act locally. This is the path. I ask you to walk it with me. I'm involved in OWL training because it is the responsible thing for me to do in communion with others, to show up, speak truth, and find ways to do so that our next generation has the best information available to them to navigate themselves in wholly centered ways based on their values. I would ask that you consider joining me. We need volunteers to act as educators. We need people to help with getting the word out. We need funding to pay for training. Hoot with us today on Owl Sunday. Grab a candle at the back. Consider giving a donation. There's candles, I gotta warn you, they burn hot and fast, so you might want to put them on a little receptacle. There's also some other things. Feel free to take and help us get this project going. Thank you for your time.
The chorus of this song is, "There is a beauty in the world, so much beauty in the world. There's beauty in the world." Pretty easy. Actually, let's get this like this. There we go.
I know your your booty, boys and girls, for the beauty in the world. Pick your diamonds, pick your pearls. There is beauty in the world.
Tap solo. Next chance for the chorus.
There is beauty in the world, so much beauty in the world, always beauty in the world. There is beauty in the world. Shake your booty, boys and girls, for the beauty in the world. Pick your diamonds, pick your pearls. There is beauty in the world.
Right. I don't know how I keep following Kaya, but it's just the way life goes.
Because we're all really close.
So I'm going to say a few words about Unitarian Universalist values and consent before we watch a short video that's actually used in some AL classes to teach what consent means. So I feel like I've gotten a little bit lucky with the topic of consent when it comes to my Unitarian Universalism. And I say mine because you might have different experiences within this faith, but I think there are some things that we can share. We call Unitarian Universalism a free faith. Not because we can believe whatever we want and be a UU, but because we freely enter into our church spaces, our spiritual beliefs, and into covenants with one another. Coercion to do something or believe a distinct way about a certain topic was, I think it would be met with suspicion at best. We love to explore ideas and concepts freely, taking all sides of an issue to heart, and then when we come to a conclusion, if we come to a conclusion, we only do so when we decide to. So we practice consent at the very basis of our faith. And I want to include a couple of ways that we incorporate consent into the culture of our church. In children's religious education, which is what we call Sunday school, to the non-UUs out there, we always try to ask before we physically touch someone, especially if it's a situation between a child and an adult. When it's children, we also encourage them, but we know developmentally that, they're not as able to control their bodies all the time. But we still encourage them to ask, hey, can I give you a hug before just, elephanting all over someone? So I might say, is it okay if I help you get paint off your hands? And this may sound really silly to some, but our kids are in control of their own bodies. And if they say no, that means no. Simple. When we do an activity, I will never force a child to participate. I encourage them to participate, but honestly, I think our kids and youth would think that I was taken over by an alien if I forced them to do anything, even though I encourage them to do so. But we're always free to say no, just like we're free to say, yeah, sure, that sounds great. In our adult spaces, say a book group or our Soul Matter small groups, we enter freely into covenants with each other about how we want to be with one another. For example, our anti-fascist book group has listened with curiosity and not judgment, and making sure everyone is offered time to speak as a part of its covenant. We spend time crafting the covenant and asking if there is anything the group wants to add or delete. And all of us agree to adopt this covenant. It may seem silly to some to spend, to spend so much time on a covenant when surely adults know how to treat each other, right? But it is a practice of our free faith to consent to the aspirational ways that we are together. So is consent really a difficult subject? Why does consent become murky and unclear when sex is involved? Especially in our society and the media, we may hear things like, Well, I wasn't sure they wanted to have sex, but what am I supposed to stop and ask? Everyone nod your head like this. Yes. Yes. Consent involving sex is one of the ways we can bring our UU values into our everyday lives. And it's as simple as having a cup of tea. So we're gonna watch this video. I feel like John Oliver when he goes, and now this. So and now this.
Just imagine instead of initiating sex, you're making them a cup of tea. You say, hey, would you like a cup of tea? And they go, oh my God, I would love a cup of tea, thank you. Then you know they want a cup of tea. If you say, hey, would you like a cup of tea? And they're like, I'm not really sure. Then you could make them a cup of tea, or not, but be aware they might not drink it. And if they don't drink it, then, and this is the important part, don't make them drink it. Just because you made it doesn't mean you are entitled to watch them drink it. And if they say no thank you, then don't make them tea. At all. Just don't make them tea. Don't make them drink tea. Don't get annoyed at them for not wanting tea. They just don't want tea, okay? They might say, yes please, that's kind of you. And then when the tea arrives, they actually don't want the tea at all. Sure, that's kind of annoying as you've gone to all the effort of making the tea, but they remain under no obligation to drink the tea. They did want tea, now they don't. Some people change their mind in the time that it takes to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk. And it's okay for people to change their mind. And you are still not entitled to watch them drink it. And if they're unconscious, don't make them tea. Unconscious people don't want tea. And they can't answer the question, do you want tea? Because they're unconscious. Okay, maybe they were conscious when you asked them if they wanted tea. And they said yes. But in the time it took you to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk, they are now unconscious. You should just put the tea down. Make sure the unconscious person is safe. And this is the important part again. Don't make them drink the tea. They said yes then, sure, but unconscious people don't want tea. If someone said yes to tea, started drinking it, and then passed out before they finished it, don't keep on pouring it down their throat. Take the tea away. Make sure they're safe, because unconscious people don't want tea. Trust me on this. If someone said yes to tea around your house last Saturday, that doesn't mean they want you to make them tea all the time. They don't want you to come around to their place unexpectedly and make them tea and force them to drink it going, but you wanted tea last week. Or to wake up to find you pouring tea down their throat going, but you wanted tea last night. But if you can understand how completely ludicrous it is to force people to have tea when they don't want tea, and you're able to understand when people don't want tea, then how hard is it to understand it when it comes to sex? Whether it's tea or sex, consent is everything. And on that note, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea.
This song is by Modest Yahoo. It's called One Day. Sometimes I lay under the moon. I thank God I'm breathing, and I pray don't take me soon. For I am here for a reason. Sometimes I let tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds
fears are drowned, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that they don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and the children will play one day, 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 one day,
Record fame.
one day, one day, one day.
And now I'd like to invite up the Reverend Brooke Dooley from Friends UCC.
Good morning. So when Allison, Katy, and I began talking about All Sunday, we were trying to decide who was going to speak on what topic: responsibility, consent, and autonomy. And naturally, I made the decision much more difficult than it needed to be. But then again, I was also that student who would do poorly on multiple choice tests because I would justify how every choice was in some way correct. So needless to say, I did the same with the 3 topics, unpacking how none of them could actually really flourish apart from each other. For instance, we have a responsibility to ensure that people have freedom to exercise full autonomy over themselves. And in order for someone to maintain their autonomy, there needs to be an understanding of consent. And so on and so forth, and the wheels in my brain continue to turn. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that's why I was chosen to go last. I tried to decide how I was going to speak to autonomy. So I did what any good pastor does when preparing to write something, where I read enough professional articles on the subjects to be able to write a very well-researched paper, and then I did not use any of it. I decided instead that it might be better to tell a story, my story, of how a queer kid from College Station who was raised in a Southern Baptist church grew up to be an openly queer pastor in College Station, who's now working with a really wonderful team of women to create a space for comprehensive sex education, and how autonomy has everything to do with that. So I grew up in a Southern Baptist church in the height of 90s Christian purity culture, and abstinence was the only form of education that I received about sex. And when I was 13, we had a Disciple Now weekend. I don't know if y'all know what Disciple Now is, but it's like it's a weekend where a bunch of teenagers from some different, usually evangelical Christian denominations come together for Bible study in somebody's house. And so all the teenage girls in my group got together on our sleeping bags one night, and we were asked to write a letter to our future husband to give to him on our wedding night, telling him that we knew that God had picked him for us and that we had saved our body for him. And then we sealed it and we took it home. I was 13. I did not know what autonomy meant, but I understood that my body was not meant for me. And soon after that, we did have a lesson on sex, except it wasn't a lesson on sex at all. There was a teacher who lifted a clear piece of packing tape and told us that this was our body before sex. And then he stuck the tape on someone's arm and lifted it back up to show us what had been carried from the person's arm. Their oils, their hairs, their body. And he continued to do this to other kids' arms until finally demonstrating that the tape could no longer stick to anything. Therefore, the more your body experiences other bodies, it loses its usefulness.
lesson. It was the wrong lesson. At no point in these spaces was my body ever mine. I am not a sealed letter with a 13-year-old girl waiting for someone to let her out. And my worth is not measured by whether or not I adhere to a service. I am mine. I belong to me. And that is the lesson that I should have been taught. And it is the lesson that our children deserve. And if the education system is not going to provide that for them, then it is our responsibility to ensure that they know this. It is our responsibility to protect our kids by teaching them about informed consent and how to set clear boundaries and expectations. Without taking those commitments seriously, our youth will be deprived of the crucial and sacred knowledge that their bodies belong to them. It has been a privilege and an absolute delight to work with Allison and Katy on this AL program for our youth, and it has been cool to me as a teenager who experienced sexual violence. And I'm honored to be able to be with you all today, to invite you to be on that journey with us as we bring our whole lives to Bryan College Station. Thank you.
Sorry. I'm new. Now let an offering be taken to sustain and strengthen this place which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now keepers of the dream. This church shares its proceeds of the offering plate each week. And this week we're taking up a special collection for our OWL training and implementation of our OWL program. And OWL trainings are very cost prohibitive to many participants. So in the name of economic justice, we are seeking to cover a significant portion of the cost for our participants. So please be as generous as you can and enjoy this song from John.
Is this on? I might rock out. I can read this. So I did not know about this song until my sister asked me to play it for her at her wedding while she was walking down the aisle. So it went from, I don't know what this is, to personal favorite, and I hope you enjoy it too. This is called Beloved. Head full of questions, can you measure up to deserve affection, to ever be enough for this existence? Did it get so hard? Your heart is beating, alive and breathing, and there's a reason why. You are essential, not accidental, and you should realize you are beloved. Listen to these words, you are beloved. I want you to know you are beloved. Sometimes a heart can feel like a heavy weight. It pulls you under and you just fall away. Is anybody gonna hear you call at all? But there's a purpose under the surface, and you don't have to drown. Let me remind you that love will find you. Let it lift you out. You are beloved. I want you to know you are beloved. Let it soak into your soul. Oh, forget the lies you heard. Rise above the herd. Listen to these words. You are beloved. 'cause you are the love. I want you to know you are the love. Let it soak into your soul. Oh, forget the lies you heard. Rise above the hurt. Listen to his words, 'cause you are the love. You are love.
We give thanks for these gifts we have given, for those we receive, and for each other. May your generosity return to you tenfold. As Unitarian Universalists, we leave our time together by extinguishing or releasing our chalice. So I'm going to give you some words as we do that. I invite you to place your hand on your heart and feel connected to everyone in this place, online and beyond. May you see that you are loved today, at whatever age and life stage you find yourself. May you know that you will continue to be loved tomorrow and all of the tomorrows to come.
Remember the way of the wind and breathe and blow. Remember the way of the fire and sparkle and glitter and glow. Remember